heart-stopping shoutouts,
Jack!
eerie encounters, or chilling calls for help. These police officers responded to situations that were anything but normal, so hold on tight for the unbelievable, yet the most scariest police videos ever caught on camera.
Right, sir, I'll be right back. Your registration is expired.
Jake, a ghost hunter, was exploring the abandoned Liberty High with a fellow investigator when things took a sudden turn.
Oh my God, Jake! Was that inside? Yeah.
After they split up during the search, one of them encountered something paranormal, and then loud shots echoed through the building.
Jake!
The place was supposed to be empty, but it wasn't. They were terrified and called the cops, who arrived fast. But what did they find? Footsteps, door rattles, and shadows that moved on their own. Even the officers looked shaken.
Are you serious?
For real.
Like, what do you mean?
Later, one deputy's wife commented this: "My husband still talks about that night. He doesn't get spooked easily, but this did it." Something was definitely inside, but no one could explain what.
Stand back, please. Touch that again if you want us to be locked in the sin box. Are you a student? A teacher? A demon?
Vanishing legs. This security guard heard strange noises coming from behind a brick wall. He looked over and spotted a pair of legs that came out of nowhere. No head, no arms, no torso, just legs. The man stayed away from the figure. According to him, it still haunts him and remains one of the most disturbing encounters of his life. Sleeping mistake. A night guard was catching some sleep outside a quiet hospital in a remote area that seemed like just another slow shift. But CCTV footage showed something chilling. A white figure slowly moved toward the gate. Not only that, but a black, shadowy crawler was also headed towards the guy. The moment they got close, the guard woke up, looked at them, then ran like his life depended on it. Missing passenger. A woman got pulled over for speeding, just a routine stop. But things got weird fast. While checking her info, the officer noticed her car's registration was expired. She turned to ask the woman about it, but the driver's seat was empty.
All right. Sit tight, sir. I'll be right back. Your registration is expired.
The woman was just gone. No sound, no movement, no trace. The cops searched everywhere, completely stunned. 1 second she was there, the next, it was like she never existed. No one could explain it, and it's still one of the eeriest traffic stops ever recorded. Cemetery encounter.
What the hell?
And Officer Josh was out doing his usual patrol through the quiet cemetery when something strange caught his eye. A kid standing completely still among the headstones. Josh called out, but the kid wouldn't move or even turn around. The silence felt heavy. When Josh got closer, the kid suddenly bolted. A quick chase followed, but guess what, guys? He vanished.
This kid running from me. Kid!
Just disappeared between the graves like smoke in the night. Josh searched everywhere, but there was no sign of him. And to this day, he still doesn't have an explanation.
Well, where the hell he went?
Nurse Shadow. This hospital was shut down in a hurry. Locals said it was haunted, and no one wanted to mess with it. But one guy just had to see for himself. While walking through the place, he caught a glimpse of something outside a room, a ghostly figure in a blue hospital gown. She vanished, and he followed. And there she was again, still silent, then gone. People say it's the spirit of a nurse who lost her life here in that building. Whatever he saw, it wasn't just shadows. Hag-Raven ambush. A strange woman was caught on camera outside a gated property, arms raised, like she was casting some kind of spell on a security guard. He remained there, whether to run or reach for backup. But then he raised his arm and shouted, "Never should have come here!" He hit her with a jolt, almost like chain lightning. She backed off and fainted. Let's just say, this modern-day witch didn't win that round. Light trap. A cop had just pulled over a car for a routine stop. Everything seemed normal until a strange white light lit up the area. It was so bright, no one could see a thing. Then, just like that, the light disappeared. And so did the officer. No sign of him anywhere. The driver quickly took off, clearly shaken. School spirit.
Чё, видишь ребенок?
Видишь, как ребенок.
Когда выходит на черное, его сильно...
A school in Irkutsk, Russia caught something chilling on its CCTV. On May 22nd, 2025, a ghostly mist was seen slowly moving up and down the stairway. Then it just vanished.
Они там не ходят, они...
А вон сейчас уже на стенке.
The staff believed it was the spirit of a student who once studied there. A cook's co-worker caught the footage, and the whole staff has been uneasy ever since. Whatever it was, it didn't look lost.
Мы никого не встречаем. Вот он пошел.
Haunted hospital. Celeste was used to quiet night shifts until her phone picked up something chilling. A growl, low and close, followed her through empty halls. She didn't hear it live, only later on the recording. Then the elevator opened on its own. Another night, she heard humming, soft, eerie, like a twisted lullaby echoing up the stairwell. That's when she saw it. A 5-pointed star scratched onto a door. Later, her camera caught a dark figure behind a locked door. Whatever's there. It's not just haunting the hospital, it's watching. Ghost car. While patrolling late at night, 2 officers spotted a car parked oddly on the roadside. One of them thought they saw something strange inside, so they walked over to check. That's when a soft, eerie prayer began playing from the car speakers, loud and sudden. But the moment they stepped away, everything went silent. Later, when they reviewed their dashcam footage, a dark figure appeared briefly in the back seat. Neither officer saw it in person, but the camera didn't miss it.
Somebody's in the car. I swear to God, I saw somebody in the car.
Ghost talk.
Who is he talking to?
A late-night shift turned chilling when a security guard was caught on camera having a full-on conversation with no one in sight. It looked like he was just chatting normally, but when his co-worker asked who he was talking to,
Who are you talking to?
he calmly said, "Miss Abigail, she's looking for Mr. Griffin." That name hit hard.
Mr. Griffin. Her name is Miss Abigail.
Miss Abigail had died 2 years ago. There was no one else there that night, at least no one living.
Miss Abigail is she died 2 years ago.
Trapped alone. A solo explorer in South Korea thought he was in for a quiet night, maybe a few weird noises, nothing too wild. But once inside the old apartment, things changed fast. The door suddenly slammed shut and locked. Then came loud bangs like something angry was trying to break through. He was frozen, stuck with nowhere to run. The sounds kept getting worse. Scared out of his mind, he called the police. They got him out, but whatever was on the other side never showed itself. Still, he won't go back alone again.
네, 지금 전진입니다.
여보세요?
네, 그쪽입니다.
좀 친구 말라고요.
Silent visitor.
I just stood there and watched it as what I was doing, and it was just coming down out of the sky real slow.
These police officers patrolling started like any other night until a truck driver spotted a strange light floating low in the sky. No sound. No wings, just slowly drifting. He went straight to the police. At first, they thought it was a joke.
When I see the object, the UFO, if you will, I first thought it was probably a bunch of helicopters flying in some type of formation.
Until officers across multiple towns saw it too. A giant silent triangle with glowing lights, flying low and fast. One officer tried to follow it, but it vanished in seconds. 6 people saw the same thing. And that night, police across 4 towns confirmed the same thing. They had all seen a UFO.
I happened to look over and saw this large floating object that was just moving very slowly.
Backseat ghost. One quiet night, a new cop was sent to lock up the Pali Lookout, a place known for spooky stories. On her way up, she saw a woman in white, but when she looked again, the woman wasn't on the road.
She remembered stories where officers would get into accidents because, they drive past this white figure.
She was sitting in the back seat. Frozen with fear, the cop remembered, "Don't panic, just speak." So she started talking. No response, just silence. But she didn't stop, and after a few calm words, the woman vanished.
She looked up into the rearview mirror and she noticed that the lady was gone.
Graveyard screams. Some cops showed up to check out a report of trespassers in an old graveyard. Nothing too unusual at first, but as they walked in, curdling screams, loud, unnatural, and coming from nowhere. No people, no shadows, just pure panic. The sound was so disturbing. The officers didn't stick around to investigate. They ran fast. Whatever it wasn't human. Battlefield shadows. While driving through Gettysburg's old battlefield, one of the most haunted spots in the US, Greg Ewing saw something he'll never forget. Out of nowhere, ghostly figures dashed across the road. Faint, see-through, gone in a blink. The place once saw over 50,000 lives lost in just 3 days, and some say those spirits never left. Greg and his family were left stunned, unsure if what they saw was real, or a glimpse of the past still trapped on those grounds. Either way, they didn't stick around to find out. Strange Walker. Late one night in a quiet part of Jharkhand, people spotted something odd walking along the road. At first, they thought it was just a person, but as it stepped into the light, things got weird. Pale skin, no hair, arms and legs way too long. It didn't look angry, just lost, like it had no idea where it was. It didn't speak or touch anyone, just kept walking. Locals kept their distance, but they weren't taking chances. They called the cops. Most still call it a UFO. Smoke screams. A woman was snapping a quick selfie when she heard screaming outside. 2 officers rushed into the building, heading straight for the room above. That's when smoke started pouring out, thick, cold, and unnatural. It wasn't fire. It felt more like something else was in there. Strange sounds echoed through the walls, and one officer looked like he was trying to force something out, like an exorcism, but nothing was ever confirmed. Whatever they faced up there, no one really knows. Some say it was a ghostly presence. Shadow Stalker. A woman thought it was just some trespasser sneaking around her yard, so she pulled out her phone and hit record. But as she zoomed in, things got weird. Standing by the trees was a tall, thin figure, and the way it moved didn't seem human at all. It froze for a second, then took off like a blur, completely silent. No footsteps, no trace. It didn't try to break in, it just didn't want to be seen. To this day, no one knows what that thing really was. Storage haunt. Night shifts at the storage place were usually calm, just you, the lights, and silence. But lately, strange things had been happening. One worker was making his rounds when he spotted something terrifying. Giant, shadowy hands, covered in fur, started reaching out of nowhere. They weren't human, not even close. He managed to record it before running for his life. When he showed the footage, others admitted they'd seen weird things there too. And that spot, it's now locked up tight. No one wants to go near it again. Something's definitely not right. Hoofwalker. A night guard in Mexico was called in after reports of someone wandering near the lot. He figured it was just another late-night trespasser, until folks nearby pointed out something odd. They said the figure didn't have normal feet. It had hooves. The officer checked the footage himself, and sure enough, the legs didn't look right. He's still torn. Was it just a weird costume? Or something more? Whatever it was, it didn't look human, and it sure didn't belong walking around that late at night. Driver missing. Late one night, a toll booth camera caught something strange. A car pulled up to pay, but no one was in the driver's seat. The guard stepped out to take a look. That's when it got creepy. Some kind of creature suddenly appeared, crouched low on the roof. You couldn't make out exactly what it was, but it clearly wasn't human. The guard froze, then stumbled back in fear. He didn't go near the car again, and to this day, no one knows what climbed onto that car's roof. Haunted Watts house. Police were called to the Watts family home after reports of strange noises and sightings. During the investigation, officers heard a faint, childlike giggle echoing from a closet. No one was inside. Just a lone toy on the floor. As they searched the dining room, body cam video captured a shadowy figure sitting at the table, and then fading into thin air while an officer paused, sensing someone or something was watching. Upstairs, a small silhouette crept down the stairs as if alive. Whispered voices followed. "This is our home." Those walls still hold a darkness that never left. The Kandahar Colossus. In 2003, U.S. troops stationed near the remote Kandahar caves in Afghanistan captured something that still baffles many. Standing beside a tank was a towering humanoid, giant in size, human in shape, but far from normal. The soldiers watched in disbelief as this massive figure appeared to vanish straight into the ground. That footage never made it to the news, but whispers of the Kandahar giant still echo through military forums today. Scary apartment.
What is that?
And this scary encounter started a woman, Jasmine, and her daughter running home after spotting a strange figure outside. Later that night, she checked her Ring camera, and that's when things got creepy. Her front door opened on its own, slowly, then shut without anyone there. Days later, a maintenance guy found something worse. Piles of little kids' shoes inside a long, vacant apartment. Among them, her daughter's missing boots.
Frozen Elsa boots, whatever you want to call it. Those boots are my daughter's.
No one lives there, yet someone or something keeps leaving children's shoes behind. And no one's figured out who or why.
What the hell is going on? Y'all see all these little kids?
Highway horror. While on a routine patrol, a police officer spotted something strange running toward his car. It wasn't an animal or a criminal. It was a toddler. A 2-year-old child was wandering alone on a busy highway. The officer slammed the brakes, jumped out, and scooped him up just in time. Thankfully, the child was safe and later returned to his parents. But here's the scary part. No one knows how the little guy even got out there. Jinn encounter.
انت جن زي ما انت ايش شو انت.
While exploring an abandoned building in broad daylight, this guy stumbled onto something that froze him in his tracks. Standing in the corner was a tall figure draped in a dark gray robe. But it wasn't just the outfit, it was the face. The skin looked rough and patterned, the nose long and unnatural, like something out of a nightmare. He backed away slowly, convinced he had just seen a real-life djinn. So what do you think? Just a costume, or something way beyond explanation?
Allahu Akbar.
Motel screams. In 2010, at a quiet motel in Los Angeles, a guest heard strange sounds coming from the next room. He grabbed his camera and started recording. What he saw was chilling. There was a witchy figure standing. Her skin looked sickly, her body twitching in weird ways. Then, out of nowhere, she slowly lifted off the ground and just disappeared. Dark warning.
Back up! Back up, bro! No! You don't know what you're doing!
While passing by a quiet field, folks noticed a woman guarding what looked like some kind of creepy ritual. She kept repeating strange warnings, her voice shaky but firm, telling people not to interfere. At first, no one listened, but not long after, things took a darker turn. Those who mocked or ignored her claimed weird things started happening to them. Whether it was real or not, that moment stuck with everyone there. Some places and people you just don't mess with. Creepy tenant. A family called the cops after hearing strange noises in their attic. At first, they thought it was just rats. But when officers showed up and opened the hatch, things took a creepy turn. A pale face with solid black eyes suddenly appeared. Definitely not human. It just stared, like it had been living there all along. The officers were shaken, and the family didn't stay another night. Sometimes, what's hiding above your ceiling is way worse than a few rats. Ghost crossing. A security guard doing his late-night shift in Bogota was scanning the street cameras when something strange caught his eye. A lone figure was walking quietly down the road, which seemed normal at first. But then, right in front of the camera, the figure vanished, gone, like it was never there. Thinking it was a glitch, he checked another camera across the street. Same thing, same moment, same vanishing act. That's when he knew this wasn't tech trouble. Some roads, especially after dark, have entities you can't explain. Dark tapping. One night, a police officer heard strange whispers coming from his bathroom. At first, he thought it was just the pipes, but then came the tapping. When he looked closer, a small hand smacked the shower glass clear as day. He opened the door fast, but no one was there. Just silence. No footprints, no fog, nothing. The hand had vanished like it was never real. By morning, he had packed up and left the house. Attic intruder.
For all these years, we have no idea what's been going on inside our...
A couple in Pennsylvania started hearing strange crawling sounds above their ceiling. They thought it was just animals, until they spotted a flashlight shining through a pipe. That's when they checked the attic and found a hidden camera. Turns out, their 69-year-old neighbor had built a secret passage to sneak into their home. He'd been crawling around their attic, spying on them for who knows how long. The cops arrested him, but one thing's for sure, those folks won't feel safe under that roof anytime soon.
He's very reclusive. He keeps to himself.
Garage creature. At around 2:30 a.m., a garage camera picked up something no one expected. A dark figure appeared, standing completely still, almost like it was waiting. Its movements weren't normal. Slow, stiff, and just off. It didn't wander, didn't run, just stayed in one spot like it belonged there. It almost seemed aware of the camera. After watching the footage, the owner decided not to step inside again. That garage? It wasn't just holding tools anymore. Something else had clearly claimed it. Hidden passengers. Heine called the cops in a full-blown panic, saying her car was packed with people. But when officers arrived, the seats were empty. No one in sight. Still, she kept pointing, insisting they were there, terrified and begging for help. Her fear wasn't fake. It felt real, like she truly believed something or someone had taken over her car. The officers looked around, but saw nothing. And honestly, what can you even do when you're up against something no one else can see? Window crawler. One night, a family spotted something terrifying staring through their window. Its face looked twisted, with glowing eyes that didn't blink. It just stood there, watching, like a zombie-like creature, waiting for a way inside. The family froze, unsure what they were looking at, but fear kicked in fast, and they called the cops. Those glowing eyes were the last thing anyone wanted to see, staring into their home after dark. Window creature. Late one night, a strange humanoid figure showed up outside the kitchen window. Its movements were slow, almost too slow. Then it started to climb through, like it was searching for something. It paused halfway in, scanned the room without making a sound, and just as silently backed out and vanished into the dark. When the homeowner reviewed the footage, he was left shaken. What was it looking for? Why did it leave so suddenly? No one knows. And that's what makes it even creepier. Dark presence.
And a 53-year-old Native American woman who has had enough.
After surviving 17 years of abuse, a woman thought the worst was behind her until strange things started happening in her home. She felt watched, followed, and one night she finally saw it. Something dark. Terrified, she called the police. Officers came to check it out and even stayed overnight to make sure she was safe. But that's when their body cam caught something chilling. Down the hallway, a black figure moved across the frame. No tricks, no shadows, just a shape that looked nothing short of demonic. Phantom fitness. Police responded to a call, and what they found gave me chills. They were called to a park where one of the outdoor machines was moving by itself. There was no wind, no people around. Seems like someone that is invisible was using this machine. They caught it on camera and were clearly scared. Later, they got to know that this park was once a graveyard. The graves were moved years ago, but who's to say everything left? The park shut down soon after. No one's been back long enough to watch it move again. Drone nightmare.
Where? Right here?
Oh, dude!
A group of drone fans flew over an old, abandoned spot just for fun, until the camera caught something they didn't expect. From a crumbling hut, a pale, creepy figure stepped out. Its slow, strange movements gave off serious rake vibes. You could feel the tension just watching the footage. It wasn't fast, but it was scary, like it knew it was being filmed. This might be the clearest shot of a rake yet. One thing's for sure, some places aren't meant to be explored.
No, okay, let me get, whoa. It's not, bro, he's eating something.
Midnight visitor. Late one night, a man heard odd noises outside but figured it was nothing. The next morning, he checked his ring cam. What he saw shook him. A strange figure with large, eerie eyes and a weird shaped nose was just standing outside his door. It didn't move much, just stared like it was waiting for something. Then it slowly walked off into the dark. That creepy stare haunted him for days. Honestly, Good thing he didn't go out to check that night. Porch stalker. A woman was home alone when her Ring cam caught something terrifying. A strange man stood on her porch, calmly asking creepy questions through the glass. His tone was quiet, but his words were enough to send chills down anyone's spine. She stayed hidden and called 911 while texting her husband. He joined in through the doorbell speaker and told the man to leave. Thankfully, she was unharmed. But this moment was a harsh reminder. You also always trust your gut and never leave that door unlocked. Backyard crawler. One evening in Las Vegas, a family heard strange rustling in their yard. When they went to check, they spotted something that didn't look human. Hunched over near the bushes was a creepy gray creature with long, claw-like hands and bony limbs like some reptile-human mix. Its face? Straight nightmare. The family froze, then quickly called the cops. But by the time help arrived, the thing had vanished. Safe to say, they won't be stepping into that backyard without something in hand again. Possessed woman. In a quiet town in Poland, things got scary fast when a woman's behavior took a dark turn. Locals couldn't tell if she was mentally unwell or if something more sinister had taken over. When officers showed up, the air filled with creepy screams. She refused to come out, just slowly poked her head from behind a door, making the moment even more unsettling. It was hard to tell what was real and what wasn't, but the police knew they had to find out what was hiding behind that door. The subscriber's pick. While patrolling a quiet street, a police officer suddenly stopped, his gun aimed at a building window. A man walking nearby noticed the strange scene and glanced over, expecting a break-in or something normal. But inside that window stood a figure, tall like a person, but with a body that didn't move quite right. It looked more like an animal standing on two legs. The man asked what the officer saw. The cop, visibly nervous, said, "Honestly, it might be a shapeshifter." That answer didn't help. Both men stood there, unsure if they saw a prank, a creature, or something worse. One thing's clear, whatever it wasn't human. And it definitely wasn't supposed to be there.